What's the most successful method you've used to encourage people to actually mark the value of their leads inside the software?
Patience. Because I mean, I come from the agency world and I understand clients, but an interesting thing is happening. And this is my hypothesis going forward, as marketing is getting more expensive and it's getting more competitive. And the better your data, the cleaner your data, the better the results. So when it hurts your client's pocket, and they begin to ask questions like, well, what leads did I get? And then you show them, through what converts. And then they see them like, well, this is great. And it's like, you can qualify. Oh, I can qualify it. And then once they start asking questions and they really want to get into the marketing and like, how can we push this, or why does it cost me more? And you show them and they realize that they can have a finger on it. They ultimately come around, but it takes patience, and it takes them to get to a position where they want it bad enough.
Can I ask a question on that? With pushing Google, pushing conversion data or quality data back to the pixel, suppose a client isn't a very good sales organization. They don't know how to qualify and close deals. And what one company would say is an awesome lead, they're not able to close because the person called for a quote, which is a buying signal, but they don't know how to close a quote. How does that affect sending that data back to Google Pixel when it's one thing for one company and another thing for another company?
Yeah, I mean, that's the challenge. Every single company is different. And I'm going to give you a roundabout answer because when we started What Converts, it was like, we're going to integrate with CRMs and these people to make it work better. And what we found is technically it's not a problem. We can connect to software. The problem is the people, getting them to do the thing. So the reason inside What Converts, we don't call a lead qualified. We call it, is it quotable? Like, can you quote this lead? And the reason we did that is because it's like, well, is a lead qualified if they sort of asked? It's like, no, can you quote this lead? Yes, it's quotable, meaning qualified. So that's what we try to do. But the human problem is an issue, and we're trying to solve that just by having a better user interface, make it more convenient. We're spending a lot more time developing some training because we believe all leads coming into What Converts and qualifying them, you're going to be able to organize it better. You're never going to lose one. You can use our dashboard to actually assign it to people. And then you can do it as they answer it, like with the view, you can get to inbox 0. So if you got leads and you got 10 leads, you tell your staff, okay, you need to action these. As you action them and you change the status, it will, disappear from the lead. So I just think that it's going to be a method where you don't forget or lose leads. And it's a way to, so for management, if they look at their staff and they're like, dude, you've got 5 leads there that you haven't actioned, they'll get that insight, they'll get their staff to do it. So that's a direction we think is going to help as well. But it does require training. I saw one of Mark's videos he did on how he qualified leads, and he is going into each individual lead and qualifying them. Our platform allows you to change the columns where you can just qualify from a list view and like do it a lot quicker. But a lot of people, they don't realize this yet. So,
did you just call out my video? Is that
yeah, what you did? I did. It was a great video. And I was like, but you could do that.
There's an easier way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, you did it a great way, but there's an easier way, but it just showed me we've got a training. That's probably going to be one of my main functions is training.
Well, the cool thing about it from a CRM perspective is I'm sure a lot of our clients are not using a CRM. The typical CRM wants to take you through a journey, blah, 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 blah. And this narrows it down pretty much to, is it quotable? Did I quote it? Did I sell it? And in the end, if you're not going to go through all the, steps that a typical CRM makes you go, those are super important ones. And then for us, a few companies that I've got to actually do that, we're able to not only go back to not only improve our Google Ads performance, but say, the biggest problem you're having here is not your lead quality or your quotes, it's your close rate.
Yeah. Because
they're quoting almost every lead, they're not closing them. And then say, maybe what you do is offer, one case we said offer a first time discount. And all of a sudden their close rate doubled, because they weren't just quoting them. They were quoting them, say, we do have a first-time caller discount that's available today, type of thing, and boom. But that data wouldn't have, otherwise we'd have just seen lead data and say, we're getting you leads, why aren't you closing them? And what's the story with the leads, Nick?
The leads aren't weak, you're weak.
Yeah, you're weak. No, but it's amazing. I mean, with this platform, we had an engine supplier. They supplied diesel engines, and we're sending them leads. And they're like, yeah, these leads aren't they're not doing anything for us. So I listened to the calls, and literally the one call the guy answers it's like, Ed. That's how he answered the call. And the guy was like,
that's how Ed answers his phone.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
we had a client,
got to do better, Ed.
we had a client who will remain nameless who replied to a landing page form submission, letting the client know to go to his main website and fill out another form so that an estimator could give him a call. I was like,
dude, no.
I was like, what?
Add additional friction to the sales process.
You didn't even give him the website. He said, just go to my main website, fill out a quote, and an estimator will call you. I was like, oh my gosh.
like he just did. You mean?
Yeah, I was like,